It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
God does not play dice with the universe. He plays an ineffable game of his own devising, which might be compared from the perspective of any of the other players, i.e. everybody, to being involved in an obscure and complex variant of poker in a pitch-dark room with blank cards for infinite stakes, with a dealer who won't tell you the rules and who smiles all the time. Those words are from Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's book, Good Omens, which was turned into a TV show in 2019. Second season is currently in production. And why do I bring this up? Because it's Saturday, February 5th, 2022, and that means it's Michael Sheen's birthday. He famously played the angel Azrael opposite David Tennant's Crowley, but you might know him from Twilight, Masters of Sex, or Frost Nixon. For me, he had one of the two best pieces of art that came out of the quarantine, Staged, which he did with David Tennant. It's amazing. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you go out to it. It's the simplest of formats, easy to understand, and it's basically just watching two great actors great act with each other. For that and all his other work, we wish him a very happy birthday and welcome all of you to Saturday Matinee. Joining me in this episode of Love and Celebration are two of the shiniest stars in the next real constellation, actress, songstress, and a dang good follow on Instagram. It's Mandy Kaplan.
Hello. That introduction made me feel wildly underprepared and uneducated. Now I'm like panicked. I got it though. I'll catch up.
Well, Tommy raised the bar, so I mean, I got to keep it up. And making her triumphant return, improviser, lover of 80s movies, and one of the queens of Squeefest, it's Krissy Lenz.
Yay!
Hello. I'm so excited to squee with you and be with you.
I'm so pleased to have you. I feel like the Jack Tripper in this lovely episode of Three's Company.
Yep, we will have many misunderstandings that could be easily cleared up.
Yes, and a lot less gay panic.
Right. Which was a whole genre in the 80s.
It was a whole genre in the 80s.
Yep, that was
I
all you
love
needed.
the gay panic. Also, that means you're cooking for us, Kyle.
I want to talk a lot about what you guys are watching, but there was one topic that came up in the list of things that I shot to the top of my list. The thing I want to talk about now, because I feel like all of us are 3 dots from stardom. We're so close. Sometimes you get 2 shots instead of 1. I'm talking about the after party. Oh, Apple TV Plus, the after party is so good.
Thank you.
When you saw, you haven't seen it yet? Oh, then the two of us are going to gush at you and get you to get an Apple TV Plus subscription if you don't already have one.
She wrote it down.
And I
saw.
wanted to see it. I didn't know it was already happening.
Yes. Yeah, the first 3, by the time you hear this, actually the first 4 episodes about. The first 3 episodes came out the first day, and now the next episode just dropped on Friday. So, yeah, I am over the moon about this because I started watching Only Murders in the Building with my wife and my daughter, who's now 14, and so it was like it was a really nice thing, and so she got super into the mystery, but it's really hard to find another mystery show that's like that, that's funny and interesting and quirky and modern. And so when this showed up, I was like, oh, something else. And so we all watched it and all fell in love with it. And so, Mandy, I know you also have watched it and loved it. So
I'm madly in love with it. I love the tone. I love the humor. Is it inventive and new and fresh? No. It is like an Agatha Christie series with amazing humor and funny actors, all of whom are at the top of their game. Ben Schwartz is hilarious. Who doesn't love Sam Richardson? Like you don't? Kyle?
No. I was just dreaming about Sam Richardson for a second there. You said his name and I was like, oh, Sam Richardson.
Richard Splett is like, him. I mean, you got mad respect. It is so much fun. And I'm laughing out loud so much while watching it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the mystery is crafted all that well, and I don't care.
No, I don't care. I'm happy just because they found a new sort of, 21st century sort of way of doing this story to make it so it's not just following clues and doing stuff. It's every single episode is a new genre. I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen it done like this before, the whole mind movie thing. So you've got what was real, and then you get to see from different people's perspective, like, is that how that scene actually played out, or is it from that person's perspective? I mean... Yeah,
Ike Barinholtz is like Jason Statham, right. Is that his name?
Yeah, exactly. The first episode is
an action hero.
But then when they switch over to Ike Barinholtz's thing, it's a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
So like everything is blue with low angles, and he's the hero and high-fiving everyone, and yeah, it's so great. And the people who are listening, I've actually already seen the next episode, which is supposed to be a psychological thriller.
Ooh, I
So I
can't
know by the
wait.
time you hear this, I'll be watching it. So I'm very excited. So yes. After Party. One of they were talking last week about running out of reasons to subscribe to Apple TV Plus, and there's another good one to put on the list. So if you let your subscription lapse, it's definitely worth the $5 it will take to keep another month.
Yes. Now this you just said you ran out of mysteries, but are either one of you watching The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window?
Yes.
Tell me about it. I mean, I know what it is, but like you started watching it and it's good?
Hit it, Krissy.
Well, yeah. So I started watching it. Very excited. Love Kristen Bell in every way I can get a Kristen Bell, and I love that genre. Which I read something that described it as agoraphobic Karen. It's the subgenre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love an unreliable narrator. I love an agoraphobic Karen, and super excited to watch this. But to me, my take on it is that it's not enough of one thing or the other. Like, it has elements of being a really broad airplane like comedy, like a Police Academy like comedy. Some of the jokes are so over the top and ridiculous and delightful. The very first joke out the gate is that she's like, my husband says I'm crazy and sometimes I talk in a British accent. And I guess that's true. And then it never comes up again. I'm like, okay, so we're going to get some really silly.
How many episodes in are you?
I am 5 episodes in.
Oh, okay. Because I think it's settled into a really great tone in the 3rd episode for me.
I just, for me, kept wanting more, and maybe it's because I'm a comedy brain. I'm seeing all these opportunities for big swings and hilarious moments, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're not going to take the big swings. They took a couple and now they're backing off, but then another one will pop up and I'm like, oh,
Right.
wait, so then why did
Because I think they wanted to toe that line. I think they wanted to keep it like, you know, it's a comedy and a parody, but also a genuine mystery and genuinely suspenseful. And I think it's doing that.
Yeah, I for me, I just wanted more of the comedy. Like, there's a moment
Sure.
in one of the episodes where somebody brings her something and then brings her something extra just as a little treat for her. And then I'm like, okay, but then there should have been a third thing.
Yeah.
That was also a thoughtful bonus item,
Yeah.
but that's ridiculous and funny. And so I was like, oh, missed that one. And, you know, all these moments that she's interacting with people, I'm like, oh, missed one there. So I wonder if, like, someone scientifically figured out what the joke ratio.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, well, I want 30% more bits. And I love the subtle humor too. So it's like kind of a bunch of things. So they're making fun of the genre in a very subtle way, which is like spot on with the performances and the characters and the elements they're adding to the story. And I love that. But I love the big funny book titles that are laying on her desk. You know, and so I just wanted more of this silliness in addition to the parody, I guess.
So this is a weird question to ask, but would it work if you don't know the thing they're parodying? So, like, if you don't know that's what I was gonna say. Because sometimes, like, parody only works as parody, and sometimes
it's hyper specific. Right. This one is after party, yes, but this is hyper specific, and I love the genre too, so it works for me.
And I get that it's like the part of the commentary is, oh, hey, did you notice that all of these stories are basically the same thing? And it's like, yeah, we did notice. We like it any way you're going to serve it to us. So like, give me a you know, a lady looking out her window having wine for breakfast. I want that story. But yeah, I think it's more fun, at least if you know the tropes and the pitfalls and the things that they're sort of sending up. And Kristen Bell is perfect.
Yeah.
Except I was also like, okay, so she's supposed to be drunk, but she's never drunk.
Oh yeah, like it never goes full on into the.
Well, I think she drinks so much that it doesn't like affect her.
Constant buzz. Yeah.
But she is afraid of the rain and faints anytime it rains. It's hilarious. Yeah.
So, what else have you guys been watching over the last couple of this year? I should say, in the wonderful year of our Lord 2022.
So I actually watched the movie or the series of the preview that I talked about last time I was on.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, the Wolf Like Me with
Yes.
Isla Fisher and Josh Gad.
And without spoiling it, is it what we thought it was?
Yes, and it's fantastic.
Oh, is it good?
Oh, it's good?
It's great.
I like both of them.
And it works as the series. It works as the 6 episodes. Like you didn't feel like this was a movie that they cut into pieces.
I felt like it could have easily been a movie.
Okay.
Easily been a movie, but I didn't feel like it was padded out. Like,
Good.
You know, I watched it all in one sitting.
Oh, good.
You know, it's, I think 6 22-minute episodes. And it just flows, one rolls right into the next. And it was a delightful evening. I had a great time. I loved it. I want more of it.
Okay. And it leaves open for future adventures. Like you could see that they could come back and tell more of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And where does one watch it?
Peacock.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's that's about right. Yeah, it is one of the things though on Peacock that I think is worth at least a trial subscription because it's great and you can watch it real quick. But it also has like a little bit of a tone in the first 2 episodes where you're like, I think I know where you're going with this. But I'm not sure, and they're playing it for high drama in the same way that the woman and the girl in the window does. But then it finds its path, and it's great.
All right. Cool. What
right.
about you, Mandy?
I did all of The Woman in the Window.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Oh, so you finished it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and After Party. So I've been busy with those.
Okay. Television.
You?
Right, all about TV. Yeah. I'd say I'm Pete got me into The Expanse, and so that's my big sci-fi drama thing I've been going through. But yeah, I haven't had time to watch a lot of movies lately, so yeah, like the same thing. I've been sort of in this time of hygge and coziness. I've been sort of like just curled up and just watching episodes. I think, and the weirdest thing that we started watching is they had a deal on the DVD box set of a classic television show. So I got that. My wife and I are now working our way through Laugh-In.
Oh,
They put
fun.
out a DVD box set of all of Laugh-In, which I didn't even know went 7 seasons, and started watching it, and it is fascinating. Not only as a cultural artifact, but also to see where comedy was and where it was going to go. So like Laugh-In is this weird bridge thing between Ed Sullivan and Saturday Night Live. So you can see how it transforms one or the other, and just how fast the editing is. Like you can see the sort of MTV style editing of just like they just drop in random stuff. I mean, like someone's talking and then suddenly there's a picture, there's footage of an elephant walking, and then they just go back to the conversation. Like just random, just to have fun, and to see all these like we were they're looking at one point. They're all the ladies come out to do like the big Laugh-In looks at the news, like their song and dance kind of thing, and they're going to the line. I'm like, wow, in that line, there's an Oscar winner and an Oscar nominee, like because Goldie Hawn was in there and Eileen Brennan.
Yep.
Like I'm like, the two of you are gonna be in one of the biggest movies of the '80s. Like, and at the time you were just like in 1968, I think is that episode is. Like, just young, bright-eyed, like getting their start in Hollywood kind of stuff. It's fascinating. And to see like the weird amount of famous people who just come in to just say "sock it to me" and then move on. I mean, yeah, it's just, and my 14-year-old walked in and watched about half an hour of it and was like, "But what is this?" Like, like no frame of reference at all. But what? I mean,
this is a lot of people smoking a lot of weed in the 60s. Yeah.
That's to talk about the past. Let's talk about the future as we go into trailers. So,
trailers.
Mandy.
Yeah.
You were the first one in there as per usual.
I know. Tracy Flick.
Tell us about your rom-com.
It is a very typical rom-com called I Want You Back. Play it.
Just got dumped.
I want to break up with you.
What?
Oh, me too.
I'm breaking up with you.
Oh my God.
What about this? Whenever we're feeling like we just can't take it anymore, let's call each other.
We're each other's sadness sisters.
Well, Sadness Sisters sounds like you're Diane Keaton and I'm Meryl Streep and we're in a Broadway play, but I like it, yeah.
That's a great cast. You should cast plays. Oh my God. And look at her with my boyfriend. This is bad.
What the
He was the love of my life.
Anne is the love of mine.
And I'm not so sure that they're gonna realize it, not with these shiny new people around.
So what are we supposed to do?
I have to break them up.
That's crazy. We can't do that. How would we do that?
So you just heard the voices of Charlie Day and Jenny Slate, and it also features Gina Rodriguez and Scott Eastwood. And I will say that I laughed at the trailer, and I'm pretty tough, that and I generally like to be a snob and not laugh at comedy trailers, but I laughed at this one, and I think it looks very charming, and it releases just in time for Valentine's Day on February 11th, and I plan on actually seeing it. And I'm not a huge run out and see a rom-com person.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I actually was going to the thing to put in this trailer and saw that you had already got there. I was like, oh, man.
Ah, steal.
Yeah, exactly. First steal. But that was my reaction too. Like I don't go in for a lot of modern rom-coms just because I kind of find them all samey and boring and stuff too. But the star power of this one, I love so many of these people, and they just have a little bit of a twist. I mean, like we all kind of know how it's going to end, but there's a nice little twist along the way that gets to be excited about it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Charlie Day just makes me laugh.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I loved it. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be so fun. I love laughing for a preview. I love a rom-com. I am all in on this movie.
And I'm glad to see Manny Jacinto working.
Who's that?
He's from The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
He's Jason. He was the good-looking guy. I always hope that when a big show ends, I'm always like, oh man, I hope the rest of them get work. Like, please.
Of course, yeah.
Kristen Bell's gonna be fine, but it's like, oh, but fourth or fifth on the list. Sometimes you don't get to see them in as many things as you'd like. But I'm glad you got them work. So that was good. So let's take a mad head-whipping tonal shift over to Krissy's trailer because yours is also a rom-com, but
of sorts.
But maybe a different attitude a little bit.
Yes. And I was choosing between two weird, bleak, snowy, apocalyptic movies this week. And I went with The Last Survivors.
After the wars, it was very obvious who was prepared and who wasn't. There's those who are prepared for opportunities and setbacks and those who are not. I feel real lucky to have the dad I do.
The wars are in the past. Focus on the future. Outsiders are a plague that'll ruin our world. You need to be ready to bury anybody you come across. Dad! You're bleeding! Antibiotics are too old. I got this. You're gonna be okay, I promise. Do not underestimate them or you will not make it back here alive. Put a bullet between the eyes of any person you see. Man, woman, or child. You see outsiders? Yeah. And?
What are you doing here?
Killed him dead.
Do you want to get those clothes dry? You're not a killer.
Which is being called a science fiction thriller? I don't know. But it's got Drew Van Acker, Alicia Silverstone, and Stephen Moyer.
From True Blood.
From True Blood.
Suke.
Yeah. I was really intrigued by the trailer. I like if we're talking about subgenres of subgenres. I like a gaslighting or apocalypse question mark. Like, are we truly trapped? Is this really what it seems to be? If I'm in this isolated situation, is it really not safe out there? And so this just seems to be the story of a father and son who have survived an apocalyptic moment and are now like have been living off the grid or possibly just surviving. And then all of a sudden, Alicia Silverstone is there in a cute sweater set. So what's happening? What's really happening?
Yeah.
And I thought it seemed quite intriguing.
So is this a genre that you're interested in? Because like you sent me basically 2 trailers and I said you have to pick which one you want to do, and they were both bleak thrillers. Is it something you're interested in?
Yeah, I think I like a bleak thriller. I think it's fun. I like to watch, a lot of apocalypse movies and see like who, make a little list of what they do wrong and right.
Okay. All right.
And I always watch with the subtitles on.
Okay.
And the subtitles for this trailer were a little bit off. And so Stephen Moyer is like, now, if you go out there, you be sure to bury anybody you meet. And it said on my screen, marry anybody you meet. And I'm like,
which it looks like the kid attempts to do with Alicia Silverstone.
Right. So he misunderstood maybe a little bit, but that would be.
He was
my
also
thing.
reading the subtitles. I mean,
right.
Mm-hmm. Get out there and, if you find someone, don't murder them immediately. Maybe ask how they're doing and if they want to hang out. So, but it did seem like maybe there was an opportunity for a twist in there to find out,
Do you have any speculations on what that might be?
I always figure that whoever is keeping the person hostage in their apocalypse scenario is wrong. Either willfully or not willfully about what the situation outside is. Because there's only so long you can not check, on the world around you and just assume that it's all nightmare fires.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never thought there was an apocalypse. To me, it reeked of, and I'm going to get the name wrong. What's the name of that movie with Viggo Mortensen, Captain Fantastic or something? Where he's a survivalist and he takes his kids.
Yeah, it's the other one. Yeah.
So I never believed there was an apocalypse. I thought it was a crazy end of days survivalist who basically wanted his son all to himself and wanted to indoctrinate him into his psychosis. And then the son's like, wait a minute, we have neighbors down the street. There are people here,
She seems good. She invited me to a barbecue.
Yeah.
When he meets Alicia Silverstone, she seemed really, and I did watch they released a clip this week, even though the trailer came out a little bit ago, and it seemed like she was not that freaked out by a guy in her house with a gun, which would make sense to me if it was an apocalypse and they were like, yeah, we had an apocalypse, but now we've got barbecues,
Yeah, it was a little weird that he comes in from the cold and like you say, going through and holding a gun, and then suddenly he's showering in her house. It's like, well, okay, wait, what happened between walking through the wilderness and taking a hot shower with the the lights turned on? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. What did you think of the movie, Mandy? Is this something you're interested in?
It's not really my cup of tea. I don't like anything apocalyptic, but I do like all things culty and conspiracy. So if Krissy screened it and said, oh, there's no apocalypse, it is that this guy's crazy, then I would be more into it. So now Krissy is my taster, and she's got to try everything for me. And
I will make sure it's not poison.
I like that with the sci-fi part. So if Krissy come back to us and then tell me that, and then come tell me, is there something supernatural? Because if it's just crazy people shoot each other, I have no interest in that too. But if you go, Alicia Silverstone's a vampire, I'm like, sold.
So we are the opposite.
Yeah. Now exactly. But and so only one of us
is going to see this.
Is going to see this movie after you watch it.
That's fair.
Krissy, have you ever seen Frailty?
I love Frailty.
Okay, that's it. That actually, this trailer kind of reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that something's not right. At the end, we're going to learn something that we should have known this whole time that changes everything. I'm always here for a just like I love an unreliable narrator. I love being lied to for an entire movie.
That is a very small genre, but I'm with you on that one.
I want to know more about your childhood, Krissy. Let's get into that.
Well, I was in the woods and I thought it was an apocalypse for the first 20 years.
For my trailer, the trailer I saw this week that got me the most excited, I didn't choose because it was only 3 seconds long. And that's in the new Netflix just put out a trailer for all their movies coming in 2022, and they showed 3 seconds of Knives Out 2.
Yes.
Did not choose that one. Instead, I found a trailer for a new television series coming out called The Offer.
We want to make a movie.
This could become a cultural phenomenon, the likes we've never seen before.
Well, then we better get started.
I know how to make this film. It's a metaphor for the American dream.
This is not just some gangster film.
Makes us look like a joke, and that's bad for business.
This is a story about family. It's Shakespeare.
Agencies won't touch us.
It's epic.
You want to be a producer? Beg, borrow, steal, do whatever it takes.
Gangster movies are dead.
We will snuff out the hatred.
If I say I'm gonna handle something, I'm gonna handle
and the
it.
prejudice.
You still gonna try and make this thing?
Sinatra wants us to shut the picture down. You got brains, and you got balls. Try using both.
I can't lose this.
What is our opening line? I believe in America.
So I'm not a huge Godfather guy. Like, I know there's a big thing of like everybody loves Godfather, wants to watch Godfather. I don't really care. But I've seen Godfather 1, I've seen Godfather 2, and that's pretty much it for me. Like, I thought they were good movies, and that was it. I didn't get swept into the cult. I don't study all of the things. I don't read the books. It was just like, yeah, it was a pretty good movie. But what I do love, as much as Krissy loves unreliable narrators, is movies about making movies. So, like, to see all the behind-the-scenes machinations of this. So this is a story basically telling about how they made The Godfather. And, of course, it's going to be fictionalized and all this stuff. But it shows all little weird things that happen behind the scenes. I mean, Robert Evans is heavily involved. You know who Robert Evans is. I can't wait to see their portrayal of him. I mean, all these famous people. And even when I went down the cast list, down the line, you're going to see somebody playing Marlon Brando. You're going to see all of these things on there. And I was going, I'm not a big Miles Teller fan. I don't dislike him, but I also saw the Fantastic Four movie he was in. And so it didn't really, put me over that much. I've not seen Whiplash. And so I was watching, I was like, okay, well, this looks interesting. And then the thing for me was when they showed Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola, friend of the show. I was like, oh yes, 100%. Now I have to watch this thing. So what did you ladies think of it?
I mean, it was a really well-made trailer for what looks like a really well-made series, and I would be very interested in checking it out. I too like Hollywood behind-the-scenes lore and
agree. I thought it looked like a lot of fun. My mother's side of the family is Italian. From, coming over from, through Ellis Island. And so The Godfather was a big deal to that side of the family. And
in a positive or negative way?
In a positive way. I mean, okay. My papa
Your papa
was a full-blooded Italian police officer. And,
okay.
He liked to put on The Godfather, and then, all the grandkids would come in and out of the room, and he'd be like, it was just like that, in the neighborhood. You had to pay, you had to pay someone to check your garbage or whatever. And so I'm definitely interested. It has a little bit of what I fear sometimes, which is that it's going to feel like homework when I have to be like, okay, who's that guy? Do I know? Should I know who they're acting like I should know?
That's interesting because I felt like that the first time I watched The Godfather.
Yeah.
It's like, who is he related? He's the son of who? Like what? And I actually had a Sherpa, like a guy with me to be like, all right, and I'd pause and he'd go, all right, he's the cousin of and I was like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like I had the chart.
I feel like it's going to be like that where someone walks in and they just have like big glasses of crazy hair and you're like, oh, I'm going to be like, oh, I should know who that is. Where are my notes? Like, but I'll watch it. It looks like fun.
So if you are interested in seeing the behind the scenes stuff, that is going to be on Paramount Plus starting April 28th. So another streaming service that you have to subscribe to, at least for that short time period. All right, so those are our trailers. So I have put together a game for you two. Yay! And since this is February and it's all about love, it'll be something you play together, not against each other. So you two are a team.
Excellent.
So if we've learned anything from the movies of the 80s and 90s, it's that every great love story needs a great love song, preferably one that can be played on the radio and at weddings for the rest of our lives. But how well do you really know these songs? Sure, anyone can belt along to the chorus, but what happens when you get really deep into the weeds of the song? Would you be able to find your way out? We're going to find out in tonight's game, Love in the Second Verse. Here's how we play the game. As this game, so you two are playing together, I'm going to read out a later verse from a famous Will song. So not the chorus, not the first verse, but a second or maybe even a third verse. Okay. To see if you know that. And so these are all famous songs. Like these are ones that have been played on the radio and still are being played to this day, and all from movies.
All from movies.
So each time, I'm getting my score pad ready. So each one, you have a potential 3 points you can get. Okay. So what I want from you is to tell me the name of the song.
Yep.
The artist who performed the song.
Yeah.
And the movie, any movie that it has appeared in.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So you have potentially 3 points for every song.
I'm psyched.
And
Yeah, me too.
Just to make things more difficult, I'm going to be reciting them as a terrible Shakespearean actor. So the timing, the inflection, the pronunciation, none of them will be of any help to you. So,
fantastic.
Here's an example. Great. So, if I was to say to you, my head is saying, fool, forget him. My heart is saying, don't let go. Hold on till the end. And that's what I intend to do. You would say,
oh, forget him. Forget him. My heart is saying, don't let go. And hold on to the end. That's what I intend to do. Hopelessly devoted to you. That's from right. Grease, sung by Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, there you go. See, I knew you guys would nail this. All right.
Yeah, but it's
tough when you say
it's a journey.
I know. That's what makes it a game. Okay, so here we go. Okay.
Can they all be Olivia Newton-John?
Yes, and you get no bonus points for singing. I was just hoping that you would.
It's hard not to.
I know. That's part of the fun, too. Okay. First one. Watching every motion in this foolish lover's game, haunted by the notion somewhere there's a love in flames, turning and returning to some secret place inside, watching in slow motion as you turn my way.
And say,
you take my breath away, which is it's called Take My Breath Away, I think.
It is.
From the movie Top Gun.
Watching in slow motion.
Berlin. There you go. Look at that. 3 points right off the bat.
Teamwork.
High
five.
Virtual high five. All right. Don't you try and pretend. It's my feeling we'll win in the end. I won't harm you or touch your defenses. Vanity and security.
Insecurity, don't you forget about me.
That's right.
Simple Minds, Breakfast Club.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Is there something else we need to say or do?
Fist in the air.
Yeah.
2 perfect scores already. All right, so let's see. I look in the mirror and all I see is a young old man with only a dream. Am I just fooling myself? That she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I'd go insane.
I feel her breath on my face, her body close to me. The artist of this song is Patrick Swayze. It's called She's Like the Wind.
It is.
And it is.
And it's from
Dirty Dancing, baby.
There you go. All right, next one. lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I'm wondering what you're dreaming. Wondering if it's me you're seeing? Then I kiss your eyes and thank God we're together.
God, we're together. Is this in your eyes? Wait, lying close to you. Wait, do one more time,
Yes.
and I kiss your eyes and wonder.
The whole thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Whole thing? Okay, so you just wanted one line. All right. Lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I'm wondering what you're dreaming. Wondering if it's me you're seeing. Then I kiss your eyes and thank God we're together.
Thank God we're together. Ah.
Is it the song from Armageddon where he walks the little
Leanne Rimes
yes.
or Aerosmith?
Aerosmith, yes, and the song is
close to you, feeling your heart beating. I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah,
don't want to miss a thing. Aerosmith.
Nice job.
That's teamwork, Krissy. Thank you.
All I see is the little animal cracker.
Liv Tyler and the Animal Cracker.
Yep.
That's 2 Liv Tyler references in subsequent episodes. All right. Love, I don't like to see so much pain, so
Lost
much
it in your eyes,
wasted.
Peter Gabriel. Say anything. I've been waiting for it.
All right, so that was round 1, a perfect score. Okay, round 2.
Okay.
Slightly more challenging, but not.
Oh,
not
boy. Oh, boy.
I'm so glad I found you. I'm not going to lose you. Whatever it takes, I will stay here with you. Take it to the good times. See it through the bad times. Whatever it takes is what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna do. Whatever it takes is what I'm gonna do. And then the chorus happens.
Then the chorus.
Whatever it takes. I want to just keep singing what Krissy's saying. I don't know.
Say it again, Kyle. This is a theme song. Whatever.
I'm so glad I found you. I'm not going to lose you. Whatever it takes, I will stay here with you. Take it to the good times. See it through the bad times. Whatever it takes is what I'm going to do.
See it through the bad times. It's Jefferson Starship.
Okay.
No,
It's Starship, but yeah, I'll
Starship.
take it. Yep.
See it through the. Is it Mannequin?
It is from Mannequin, yes, and it's called.
See it through the.
Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart, and we can
build this thing together. Stand it still forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
It is. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Ooh, man. Man, you squeaked through that one. I was like, oh, are they gonna get it? They got it. And everyone cheers. All right. The first time you feel it, it might make you sad. The next time you feel it, it might make you mad. But you'll be glad, baby, when you found. That's the power that makes the world go round.
That's the power
of love. Back to the Future, Hughless.
Yes,
right.
Back to the Future.
It's a recurring theme. All right. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime and never let go until we're gone. Love was when I loved you, one true time I'd hold to.
I'm out.
I 1,000% guarantee you've heard this song.
I'm sure I have.
I got nothing.
And you're reading them all like you're trying to go to the bathroom as you're reading. Like, love. Yeah.
I could do a bad Shatner impression. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime and never let go until we're gone. Love was when I loved you. One true time I'd hold to.
Nope.
I don't have
I got nothing.
Near, far, wherever you are. That's right.
Yeah,
it's My Heart Will Go On from Celine Dion from Titanic.
Yeah, I absolutely don't know any of the chorus to any of that song.
I was amazed. I was like, that's really what she's saying? Okay. All right. Make believing we're together, that I'm sheltered by your heart. But in and outside, I turn to water like a teardrop in your palm. And it's hard winter's day. I dream away.
It's a hard winter's day. I dream away.
Touch me now.
Close
my heart's fading. I dream away. It must have been love by Roxette from Pretty Woman.
Yes.
But Krissy, I needed you.
Yeah.
You made that happen.
That was teamwork.
I would not have known
right?
of it at all.
The assist, the layup, that's or whatever. I don't know sports.
All right. Here is our last one. Look into your heart. You will find there's nothing there to hide. Take me as I am. Take my life. I would give it all. I would sacrifice.
This is from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's by Bryan Adams, and it's called
Everything I Do It For You.
Oh, look
I
at
hate
that.
Bryan Adams, so let's move on from that right quick.
Canadian songstress. We actually had 2 Canadians in that thing. So yes, all right. They only missed 1.
That was a tough one too.
You got 9 out of 10.
That was a great.
Might I call us a dynamic duo?
Yes, you are a mighty musical machine. I'll be first in line for your EP when it drops.
Yeah.
Now, wrap yourself in your fantastic victory while I take care of some business here. February can be a lonely month for some people, and while we can't find you the love of your life, perhaps we can give you the next best thing. Membership. That's right. If you head over to nextreel.com/membership, you can join our merry band of movie-minded weirdos. At most, it'll cost you is $5 a month. And what does that get you? How about access to live streams as we record, early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed, access to the super secret member channels in Discord, member bonus episodes, and dare I even tell you, stickers. And buddy to buddy, I even know where you can find out what movies we're going to be discussing in the coming weeks and months. On Letterboxd. If you clickety-clack your way over to our HQ page there, you'll find a list of all the movies in the 2022 season. And while you're on the site, use the code NEXTREEL at checkout to renew or upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron for 20% off. It's something we can give you for spending your precious time with us. And now it's time for the Rob Cabasco Memorial List Challenge. So last week we were challenged to come up with possessed or murderous objects. So Mandy, you had the first trailer, so you get to give us our first possessed or murderous object.
Okay, so I'm going to reverse the order in which I thought of them because I think that the first one I thought of, you guys are going to make fun of, and that is totally valid because I know sometimes I think outside the box. But then I want to get this one done because I might be stealing it, and that thrills me to think of it.
Okay.
Am I interpreting this correctly? That Chucky from Child's Play, it's an object.
Yes.
Possessed.
Yeah,
right?
100%. He would fit both those categories, actually.
Scary little doll.
Yep.
Not a steal?
No, not a steal.
Oh.
Well, I think that's a lot of Chucky movies too.
I think you guys suck that it's not a steal. I think that's right.
Well, maybe we thought, you know what? I bet you Mandy's going to do Child's Play. I'm just not going to do it because I'm going to let her have it.
Nope.
No?
I wanted to steal, but I did Child's Play.
Yeah. Good one.
Chucky, Child's Play. That is an excellent one. Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, Krissy, what was
As an 80s movie.
What was your first? Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, does it? Is that what 89?
Sure.
The first one. I know it was late. It was very late in the 88 or 89.
Way to yes and
did you
Krissy.
cover it on?
Nicely
did
done.
You cover it on Most Excellent?
We did, and I enjoyed it as much as I did when I was 12.
Okay. You saw it when you were 12?
Probably.
Wow, you're like the same age as the kid.
Yeah.
You're like, Chucky can be my friend too.
Let's go murdering.
Yeah, my wife is terrified of possessed dolls.
Mm-hmm.
So she even just seeing the picture of Chucky, it makes her freak out.
Yeah.
Any ventriloquist dummies, any of that
Rightfully
stuff.
so.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was your first
I also
murderous object?
went a weird way, I feel,
Okay.
because the rules were very specific that it couldn't be a place and,
Right.
you know, So I went with an object that cannot be destroyed, that when you defeat it, it only lies in wait for its next group of hapless victims.
Is this an ex-boyfriend of mine? I feel like you're describing Jeff. No? Okay.
I am describing Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Nice.
Okay, so Krissy, you're just meeting me, but I'm obsessed with the new Jumanji movies. My kid and I watch them over and over. I love them so deeply. That is excellent.
As soon as I walked out of the theater after reluctantly seeing the Jumanji, the Welcome to the Jungle with my kids, and I walked out and I was like, that might be my favorite movie. And I think Jack Black is my favorite actor.
That movie holds up too. Multiple views. It's so good. It might be The Rock's best performance.
I love it. Well, the second one.
Movie. Second one's great as well.
The second one when he's Danny DeVito, and then when they switch and Jack. Oh God, mildly racist, but fantastic.
Yes.
Love that. Love both of those so much.
Yeah, that was great. All right, yeah, actually, the game for Jumanji, I think that is a perfectly good one. Okay. So for my first one, I was going for a theme, but then there's one movie I wanted to mention, so it sort of broke the theme. So I guess I don't have a theme. But the first one I had is actually a movie that terrified me as a child. So I was like, oh, okay, that still haunts me. So I'm going to do that one. It's a really weird and fairly obscure movie. Krissy, you probably could cover this on Most Sex Lady because it did come out in 1986 because Henry Thomas, hot off of his appearance in E.T., went to Australia and did this really weird movie called The Quest.
Nope.
In Australia, it was actually released as Frog Dreaming. Go figure that out. I watched a little bit. Somebody was kind enough to upload the VHS copy to YouTube, so I actually was able to look at it and go, "Oh yeah, this is as terrible as I imagined it would be," because it's got some outdated stereotypes. It's got their own magical Negro stereotype that goes in there, except it's a magical Aboriginal who appears and disappears at different times. But the story is basically like a kid, parents die, of course, 80s. It's trying to be like The Goonies and Explorers and that kind of genre, but it's way creepier. The kid discovers a quarry that has been abandoned, and then figures out there's something at the bottom of the quarry. And he's an inventor, so he invents like its own little aqualung, and so goes underwater and then gets stuck, and everyone thinks he dies. But then they figure out, wait, he invented a way to breathe and go out there. And so when they come to rescue him, then that's when the monster attacks. So like it's this thing that's called the Donkagen, but it turns out it's actually like a crane essentially that's been submerged and comes out. But is it a monster? Because it looks like it's trying to eat him, and they have to fight it off and stuff too. And then does it really die in the end? It's all sort of weird in the dream time and stuff too. But it's on the poster. You can see what the thing looks like. And I remember it terrified me as a kid because it's in its mouth and it's in water and it's dripping all the stuff. And like Henry Thomas is screaming as it's in there. And yeah, it's horrifying.
And then as the credits roll, they play Dunkagen, darling.
That'd been great because at the end it looks like the thing is still alive and he's okay with that. Like he's like looking over it as it's like pulling himself back together, going, "Yeah, Dunkagen, you did try to kill me, but." And credits, and it's like, what? Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, it's wonderfully terrible.
Krissy is such an active listener. It gets me very excited. She's really invested in whatever the hell we're saying, and
She's
I like
ready to
it.
Yes, and at any moment.
Yes, and my next one, I'm so glad nobody stole it. I thought this one's got to be a steal. So, an inanimate object that is murderous. Who better to tell that story than Stephen King? In Christine.
Yeah, good one.
Not a steal,
but a good one. Nope, I had that as my bonus thing.
You sons of.
Were you out to steal? Was that your goal for the?
Well, with those two, I thought these are so obvious that these are going to be steals. With my third one, you guys are going to just think I'm a whack job. But yeah, Christine is freaky. Stephen King is brilliant. It'll haunt your dreams to think your car could turn on you, and it's. I read the book and I love the movie. It was fantastic when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I think the movie actually is almost creepier because in the movie, it's the car. The car is evil from creation. Like it kills someone on the assembly line. But in the book, it's actually the point of it was that it was the guy. It was the previous owner had possessed the car and was now possessing the new owner. It was like a ghost thing. But yeah, the movie,
I don't remember all that detail. God bless you.
the movie flipped it around, so it was just like, no, it was bad from the moment it left Detroit. I mean, like it was, yeah.
I'd way rather have something be haunted, so then you could like befriend whatever is living inside of it.
Okay. As opposed, like how do you make friends with a car?
Right.
Oh, let's ask Herbie. All right. So, Krissy, what's your next one?
Okay. Well, I too thought that my choice are very obvious. What sort of object would not only entice people towards it and infatuate people with it and infect their minds slowly, and then only be able to be destroyed in the very fires whence it came. I picked the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And the one ring.
The One Ring. That's right.
It's a murderous object.
It is absolutely a murderous object. And it, like the very first time we sort of see it in action, it causes Deagle to kill his cousin. And yeah, that's a
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you. Good choice.
One ring to
rule them all. And I thought I would pick the one that won the Oscar, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Classy.
Of the three.
So classy. Yeah.
I mean, The Ring really makes its big moves in the third one.
It does, yeah. There's a lot of almost put your finger in it. Almost put your finger in it.
Sounds like my wedding night. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Again, the setup and the spike.
Teamwork. You too.
I'm
telling you, I'm just going to sit back, let the comedy duo form right in front of me. This is amazing. All right, so mine is another terrifying image from my youth. You'd think that having Michael Crichton, acclaimed author, as the writer and director of something would instantly assume that everything would come together. And then you got a pretty good leading man. He cast Tom Selleck, but then for the evil scientist, he then picked Gene Simmons. So this is Runaway from 1984, and it's a weird little movie. But they have these things. They don't really have a cool name. They're just spiders. They're just I call them the acid spiders because they're these little mechanical things. And what they do is they crawl onto you and inject you with acid. It's terrifying. And I remember, and the thing is, it's not, they do leap, so like you could like you have the little, and they can fly at you, but it's that they're just relentless. So it's not that they're like running at you in high speed. It's like, no, it's like you're trapped somewhere and it crawls up your leg and it's like, hey, what's that thing? And then suddenly, it's burning you with acid. Yeah, it's terrifying. So yes, that's my next one is Runaway from 1984.
I love that movie so much.
Oh, really?
I long for it to be rediscovered.
Yeah.
The templates, Ramsey. It's so delicious. And yeah, they're scary, but you could also stand on a chair and swat them with a broomstick and probably be fine.
Yep. I mean, they in the movie, they have the smart bullets, which are way, actually scarier because they're bullets that you can pick one person and it'll find you wherever you are. But man, those acid spiders, I still have. Remember that? I saw that way too young.
Yeah, and Tom Selleck is great in it, and Penny from Dirty Dancing is his love interest.
Cynthia Rhodes? Oh.
Oh, now you have a reason to see it.
I mean,
no.
It's worth a watch.
No, I don't. That is the 80s cast I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He has a robot wife.
That's right.
Wow.
All right. Back to the top then. So, Mandy, what's your last?
All right. So I heard objects possessed, and I immediately thought of a children's animated musical, Beauty and the Beast. Oh. Every object is possessed. Now, possessed by the human version of that object, not necessarily murderous, not necessarily evil at all, but like there's a wardrobe who hits high notes and
Joanne
a French.
From Laughing.
Joanne Worley. So, yeah. So that was my first thought. And I was like, this is probably not what the list choosers intended, but to hell with them. They're not here and they can't stop me. So I'm saying Beauty and the Beast.
Don't stop.
I love it. And you know what? They are fierce though, when they need to protect their kingdom.
True. The castle, right.
They pull out those drawers and like pop.
Yes, they do.
And and if anyone quibbles about them being people turned into things, I think that in those scenes there's a lot of stuff that are not people.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Be Our Guest, those are not all people. Like those forks were not people. Those napkins were not people.
There you go.
You don't think they were people?
No, I don't think they were people. I mean, like
there aren't that many people in the
Lumiere
castle.
and Cogsworth, sure, people transformed into the same, but like I don't think that he had a staff of like 300 people working in that castle.
They were just possessed utensils. Thank you.
You don't think that it's accidentally sucked in a bunch of souls from nearby kingdoms?
Wow, that is a much darker take on Beauty and the Beast, but I think I'm here for it.
I shall never sleep again.
So speaking of evil magic, Krissy, what's your next one?
Okay, again, I feel like I'm being super obvious, but what are the scariest possessed objects that can contain a piece of an evil, murderous soul? And in order to create this object, you must commit the ultimate evil. I'm, of course, talking about the Horcruxes in Harry Potter Goes Camping, otherwise known as Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Okay. Part 1?
Well, I picked part 2 because that's when they're all like you find the diadem and you kill the snake, and so you get rid of the most, I think, Horcruxes in part 2. I may be wrong about that.
No, I think that sounds right to me. It's a Horcruxal-rama in that one. Okay, so my last one, I took a slightly different tack because there's a really, really weird movie that I feel like needed to be mentioned in this thing. So it's even hard to describe what it is. Okay, so in this, the main character is not a human at all. It is a sentient, murderous tire. It is a tire. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll direct my question to Mandy then. Okay, so Mandy, there is a tire that essentially comes to life and decides to go on a murder rampage. So if you were, you've seen movies, if you were writing a story,
I've seen like 3.
Sure, but if you were moving about a tire that kills people, how do you think the tire would go about killing someone?
It would wrap around them and spin them to death.
That is a great answer. No, psychic powers.
Oh,
yeah.
That was tip of my tongue.
Yeah. So I'm talking about 2010's Rubber. It is a really strange movie where this tire goes around and it will see someone and then start shaking and then their heads will explode. Yeah.
That's unpleasant.
Yes, it's very unpleasant, but it also is it's a bit of a meta. It's a very French sort of meta commentary because there's a Greek chorus that literally is following the tire around and setting up and watching it as it kills people. So they're commenting on how ridiculous it all is and things.
Wait, and Krissy has seen this movie.
I did, but it was very late at night, and I remember very little of it.
That's the best time
because I'm watching her acknowledge, like yes, Rubber.
It was brought to like a late night hang post show situation. As like you guys got to see this, and I think I was sleeping on and off for bits of it.
That might be the perfect way to enjoy that movie.
Murder Tire. Yeah.
All right, so those are our obsessive murder objects. Did anybody have any extras just in case?
I did. I had Pirates of the Caribbean because they're Aztec.
Oh, the Aztec gold, yeah.
Cursed them to walk the earth.
Yeah. What about you, Mandy?
I didn't have any backups.
Really?
I had a busy week. Stop judging me.
No, you're supposed to say, I was so sure that I had the first one, and you knew you were going first.
Well, that is part of my plan. Always.
Extreme confidence, yes.
Yeah.
As one of my backups, I did have Christine on my list, just in case. I had Phantasm, which had something called the Sentinel Sphere. There's these tiny little flying silver orbs that stab people. In honor of one of my favorite comedy bits, Patton Oswalt, I had to say Deathbed, the bed that eats people. And then one little thing I want to mention, there's another one that was fitting in my list of things that terrified me as I was a youth. There was a terrible adaptation of a really scary story in something called Quicksilver Highway, which took a Stephen King short story called Chattering Teeth and a Clive Barker short story called The Body Politic and combined them into one sort of weird movie. But The Body Politic is one of the most terrifying stories I have ever read. It's a kind of a crappy adaptation, but the idea is like they actually mentioned last week. They mentioned idle hands. The idea is that your hands want to kill you. So the idea is that it's like this guy's hands are leading a revolution of hands. So they're they're actually like getting other people's hands to turn on their owners. So they're like saying like, how do you fight back when your own hands will be in revolution against you? It is utterly terrifying story. And they did a really creepy audio adaptation of it too. When you actually see it on the screen and it's a lot of just like CG hands running everywhere, you kind of like, okay. But like when it's in your imagination, way creepier. But for those of you who are horror fans and have an open mind, Quicksilver Highway, check that out. So now, as we have had this inflicted on us, now it is time to pass along to the next one. So do you have any ideas on what we should have next week's crew? At this point, we do not know who next week's crew is, so we'll have to make it all.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
My first thought was actually because when we were emailing back and forth and we were getting sort of complaining about like the limitations put on, maybe we should flip that and do it the other way. I was thinking of like worst places to live.
Like
so like doing the other thing, we weren't allowed. Right, exactly. We weren't allowed to use that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, what about we do it the other way around and like have it that way and open it up to that kind of thing.
Sure.
Worst place to spend a weekend.
There you go. That would work too. We can make it as wide or narrow as we want.
The only other thought I had, which is a totally different direction, because you mentioned songs factoring into movies for the game, like non-musical movies where a character bursts into song.
Ooh,
oh,
that's fun.
Okay.
Horror movies where someone bursts into song.
I could only think of one, so. I don't hate the idea, Mandy. I'm just even in my head, I'm having trouble coming up with. Not that I'm asking you to say any, but like,
right?
I'm having trouble
because
coming
I
up
can't.
with
What if we pick terrible places to spend the weekend, or places?
Yeah.
And then if we find out I'm on the show next week, we switch it, and I get to do characters who burst into song.
Well, if you're hosting, then
okay,
you can just
we agree. Okay, great.
The
yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So, are we okay with terrible places to spend the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that in the notes, so maybe.
And is it like? So, are we going to put like parameters on? Like it can be like a village. Like it could be the village from the village, or it could be the house from.
Don't give them ideas.
Okay. Yeah. No more.
No, but I think terrible places to spend the weekend is good because it allows a lot more freedom in terms of what they want, how they choose to interpret it. Right. Because like. It's the Schmigadoon thing. Like if you hate musicals, then a bad place to be would be, Oz or whatever. Like the.
Who hates musicals?
Oh, I think if we convened a gathering of all the hosts, I think at least one person would step forward.
Handful, yeah.
Yeah, I do not want to out them though. So, all right. So that was okay. So that we have that things for next week. We're good. So tell me what you all are working on. So Mandy, what's happening over in the Man Cave?
In the Man Cave. Well, last week I forced Fabian to go see Scream with me, which was hilarious because
she seen the previous ones?
No, but I sent her like a 10-minute recap to catch up, and then she like. Listen to the episode. She's so adorable in a movie. She is shouting at the screen. She can't look. She's everything you want to watch while, there's a movie on the screen. And
we need to do a video commentary of you guys pick a movie and we'll do that as a bonus.
If we were at home, I could have filmed her, but we were in the movie theater.
Of course.
And then as her revenge, this week you'll hear her. She made me listen to Matthew McConaughey's audiobook.
Well, all right.
Green lights, baby.
Green lights.
Time is a flat circle. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, Krissy, is there a new episode of Most Excellent 80s coming?
Well, Kyle, there should be.
Have you found the lost episode yet?
We recorded a really great episode about on Risky Business.
Okay.
With Matthew Fox of
oh yes,
of this very
exactly of Marvel Movie Minute and Ethical Panda.
And we chose Risky Business, assuming that there would be copious opportunities to poke fun at it and laugh at it and say ridiculous and talk about ethics and things like that. No, holds up, solid movie.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Really? Risky Business.
Risky Business. Okay. I'll tell you what, between the world of Risky Business and the world of 16 Candles, put me in a Risky Business world.
Wow.
Women fare much better.
All right. Wow. That's a twist. So that's coming out in the near future.
In the near.
It's out there. It's out. So subscribe now, and when it shows up, then it'll appear in your feed.
Exactly right.
In the meantime, you have tons of great episotions to check out, like maybe Return to Oz.
Yes, hit that one. That's a good one.
That was a really good episode that you guys did, and just FYI, I actually have a new episode coming out of Curiosity Codex. I got together with a couple of our next real pals. I got Pete Wright and Rob Cabasco to come and talk about this weird trend of these movies that revere the movies that they become sequels to. We haven't figured out a good term for that too, but in the way that you have a Star Wars, J.J. Abrams' Star Wars loved and Jurassic World loved Jurassic Park. We have the Ghostbusters Afterlife loved the first Ghostbusters movies, and then on the other side of that spectrum we have the new Matrix movies, which apparently hated Matrix movies. So we talk about that and different the spectrum of how these filmmakers are looking back at these movies and how they think of them and how they react to them. So it was a fun little discussion. So that is, I believe, members, I can hear it now, and it'll be showing up here soon, and then there will be a whole new series of Curiosity Codex episodes dropping on a regular basis too. So we're done with our hiatus. I say we, it's just me, but we, the whole
and all your
organization,
personalities and the voices in your head. Yeah.
They finally were able to do something and put that out. So check that out. So it'll be good. So thank you folks for joining me. This has been a fun Saturday hanging out with both of you. Thank you for your time, your talent, and your singing abilities.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was super fun. All right. Thank you all for listening. And you know what? Go do something nice for yourself.
Smash that like button. Smash it, like and subscribe.